All right, guys, I'm going to talk about the answers to these problems in the notes and what I want to see, like how much work I want you to show me. Um, so we're going to start with grouping symbols, exponents, multiplication or division, addition or subtraction, right? And there is grouping symbols here, so I'm going to do 12 times 2 first. And I want you to do one step at a time. These problems are going to get harder and harder, and it helps if you do one at a time. All right, so after exponents, then you should, or grouping symbols, you should do exponents. And technically you can do them both at the same time. So I'm gonna do 3 squared. That gives me 9. And then I'm gonna copy down the rest of the problem. I'm gonna do 7 squared right away because I know that that's gonna be the second thing I have to do. And then I've got addition and subtraction. So I'm gonna do addition next, because it comes first in the problem. And then I have one step left. So you're trying to make this Dorito chip is what I call it, or a pizza slice. It's like an upside down triangle whenever you're simplifying these expressions, right? So it kind of makes this like funnel or something, right? You're basically getting down to one number. When there's a big fraction like this, you're doing two funnels or two Dorito chips, one going up and one going down, and then you divide your two answers. So a fraction is a big grouping symbol too. It groups, you have to do everything that's on the top first. So it kind of like groups the whole thing together. So we're going to do 7 minus 4, which is 3. And then 3 squared plus 15. So now I have to do exponents, which is 9. And 9 plus 15 is 24. So that's my answer for the top of the fraction. The square root of 36 is 6. And then I divide these two to get 4. All right, let's check your problems on the back. All right, guys, so this is substitution. This is a little bit different. Now we're going to plug in the -6 for x and -9 for z. And whenever you substitute a number in, put it in parentheses, because when we deal with these negatives this year, it gets really confusing. Oh, I forgot why it was 3, and then plus -9 in for z. All right, first step, grouping symbols. And inside of my parentheses, there's not really anything to do. So those are just saying that that 6 is a -6. So there's nothing to do inside parentheses. So I'm going to move over to exponents. I'm going to do -6 times -6 on my calculator. -6 times -6 is a positive 36. And that is being multiplied by this 8/3 that's in front. And then I'm going to copy down the rest of my problem. All right, and then I'm going to move to multiplication, subtraction. I'm going to do an addition. So I'm going to do the multiplication first. And this one is 8 times 36 over 288 over 3. And that equals 96. So this whole part is a 96. And then I'm going to copy down the rest of my problem so that I'm only doing one thing at a time. And then I'm going to multiply 6 times 3 to get 18. And then I'm going to copy down the rest of my problem. Each time you're just copying one step at a time. All right, then I'm going to do subtraction because it comes first in the problem. And then I'm going to copy down the rest. And then my final answer, you should get 69 positive. All right. Let's go on to this one. So the A for this one is -2. So I'm going to plug in a -2 here. And then minus 2 times 6. And that's all going to be over -3. All right. Grouping symbols, there's nothing to do inside of them, so I'm going to move to exponents, and I'm going to do -2 times -2 times -2 on my calculator. And that gives me a -8. And I'm going to multiply that by 4 minus 2 times 6 divided by -3. All right, so I've got this multiplication and division thing over here. This is also multiplication, so I could do that one first because it comes first in the problem, right? So -32 minus 2 times 6 divided by -3. All right, and now I'm going to do multiplication. So I'm going to do 2 times 6, which gives me 12, divided by a -3, which gives me a -4. But there's a minus sign in front of this problem. So it's going to be minus, so it's going to be -32 minus the -4 that I got as my answer here. That's the tricky part. We're subtracting a negative. And on your calculator, when you subtract a negative, you're really adding a positive, like keep, change, right? Or that becomes a big plus sign. Or use your calculator. -32 minus -4 is a -28. All right, check your answers. Let me know if you have any questions. The partner activity is going to be next, where you match your answers to each other.